As a tutu business, I know how tedious making tutus can be. They're simple, but they take a long time. In this video, I would like to introduce you to our blank pre-made tutus, showing you how to use them and how to add your embellishment to them. So we are going to add one layer of ribbon to our tutu skirt, and I'm going to show you how I add my ribbons to my tutu skirts. Now, the blank tutu skirts, they are full, they're fluffy, they're always going to come out beautiful. So you don't have to worry about, okay, I need it fluffy, I need it full, so I need to add my ribbon this way. I'm just sharing with you how I add my ribbon, and that also helps to speed up the time in which it takes me to make my tutus, and all my tutus always come out full and fluffy. So let's go to the sewing machine and I'll show you how to add the ribbon to our blank pre-made tutu. Here I have the blank tutu already made. This is a newborn tutu I'm using for this demonstration. And this is the outer side of the tutu. I'm going to lay it flat. And normally our blanks come with a tag. This would be our outer side. You would flip it over, which would be the side where the tag would be. So you want that side where the tag is to be facing upward, your right side to be against your tabletop. This one does not have a tag, but the tag would be right here normally, and you would see that in our next demonstration. You will fold this, just tuck this away, and we're going to start on this end. Now I tend to sew, no matter how many layers of ribbon I'm using, I tend to sew all my layers of tulle, which is 4 layers of tulle. I have 4 layers of tulle here. I sew them all at the same time. I'm using a 1-inch ribbon, but you can use a 1.5, which is generally the size ribbon that I normally use, but I'm using a 1-inch in this case. So I'm just going to hold my ribbon down with my pressure foot. I'm using the side of my pressure foot to gauge where I want my ribbon, where I want to sew constantly on my ribbon. So you just find a point of reference. So it can be this edge, or seeing that is a 1-inch ribbon, but I want to keep that constant. Next, we'll go ahead and add the tulle or the tutu, and that's another point of reference that you have to find. So if I have my tutu skirt, I'm looking for the shortest layer of tulle, which is right there. And that is what I am referencing or looking at all the time. So let's say I want my tulle to land here against, keep in mind the length or width of ribbon that you're using. Okay? And I'm going to start sewing. Now, if you're new to using our blank pre-made tutu, I tuck this under, but you can also use a clip, a wonder clip like this, and just clip that part out of your way. So this will stay open for you. Now we're going to go ahead and just sew, keeping the reference point of where I want my tulle to be, and I'm looking at where I am sewing. Now I'm using white thread so you can see where I'm sewing, where the stitches are, and where my tutu skirt, the tulle fabric, is falling on the ribbon. So I'm keeping this constant, and I'm keeping where I'm stitching constant. With the tutu skirt, again, what I'm looking at is the shortest layer of my tulle fabric. I'm not focusing on this long length. I'm looking at the shortest layer of my tulle fabric and making sure that it is positioned the same location, going all around the tutu skirt on the ribbon. Where I started is where I want this to be all the way around. Now, sometimes when you're sewing your tutu skirt, you will get little puckers like this, right? It's not laying exactly flat. Just let it pleat up. See how it's pleating there? Let it pleat like that. Don't try to flatten it out. If you stitch in, again, this is all thing to look at. And you see this, your tulle fabric is all folded up. Don't worry about it because it is gathered up. What you're paying attention to is that the shortest layer of your tulle is in the same position in reference to your ribbon, and you are stitching along a straight enough line. Use something as a reference. I'm using my pressure foot and I have my ribbon right under my pressure foot. So I'm going to continue this stitching all the way around. And as you can see, I am taking my time sewing a little at a time. The more you use our blank pre-made tutus, the more comfortable you would get with them. And so speed will certainly come, but don't look to go fast off the rip or in the beginning. So my focus here is to keep my stitching in the same location on the ribbon and to line up the shortest layer of my tutu in the same location on my ribbon all the way around. So we are at the end of this tutu, and I am going to cut my ribbon. I'm going to cut it at the end of tulle fabric. I'm still lining up the shortest part of my tulle, and I'm paying attention to where my needle is on my ribbon. Now, to end this, I am going to take the end of the ribbon where I started and tuck it under. And I'm tucking it under far enough that my tulle fabric overlap each other. So I'm paying attention to my tulle fabric to make sure it overlaps each other. Now I'm going to line up my tulle, make sure that it is in position correctly. I'm going to line up my ribbon to make sure that they are overlapping evenly. Make sure and hold on to it, that your feed dog doesn't take the top one and leave the bottom one. All right. And this is the finished tutu skirt. This is a newborn tutu skirt made using a blank pre-made tutu. I hope this video was helpful to show you that you can produce a high quality tutu in a short amount of time. So like always, I'll see you on the next one.